Since the plants do not have a well organized circulatory system as found in the human beings or higher organisms, they perform the process of transportation of materials in a slight different way. The major materials needed to be transported from one part of the plant to another can be categorized as either transport by water or by minerals. So, we will be taking into consideration the transport by water or transport of water from the roots till the leaves. If we see this structure, we can very well relate to how are the roots actually placed inside the soil. This is a root here, and the root here cells are shown in blocks. The blocks which have outer green peripheral region, these are the cell wall, and inside it there is presence of that yellow margin is the plasma membrane. This is cell wall, and not only that, the inside entire portion, white portion is larger portion is the vacuole. You can see the nucleus as well. So the movement in between these different structures will be taking place with the help of plasmodesmata, which is present in between the cells. Now, if you see or you think about water molecules being accumulated in the soil, then they must be accumulated at different places. Suppose here there is water, these places, or maybe this is the source of water. So, from the source, it may move towards the roots through the soil particles. So, thus through the soil particles, somehow it will come close to the cell wall, and at first the process of imbibition will occur, and this imbibition will allow the movement of water inside the cell wall. From the cell wall till to the plasma membrane, the movement, or from the plasma membrane, I should rather say, inside the cell, the movement will take place only by the process of osmosis. So, osmosis is the movement of water molecules from a higher concentration to a lower concentration through a semi permeable membrane. And why is imbibition occurring in case of cell wall and soil particles? The movement of water from soil particles to cell wall, it is so because there is a cellulose 6 cell wall present. The cell wall is made up of pectinase or cellulase or any kind of polysaccharide. And these polysaccharides, the water cannot move inside by the process of absorption. Adsorption will take place. And in adsorption, just the attachment of the water molecules to the surface occurs. And that's why it's quite different as compared to the process of osmosis. Root pressure is created by the roots of the plants due to continuous suction of water. Now, over here you can see an entire experimental setup. Here, this stump is basically the stem along with root of any plant, and both of it is placed in a pot. Now when the and later on you can see that there is a tight fixation with the help of a rubber stalk. As the rubber stalk is placed, you can find the exuded liquid. This exuded liquid is basically the cell sap, and if we go into much more detail, it is the water which is being absorbed by the root hairs. So the root hairs will absorb the water, and since there is a tight fitting of rubber tube, the plant is unaware that its upper portion is cut off. It is somewhat similar to what happens when we pluck a leaf from a plant. When you pluck a leaf, you will see that some liquid comes out from the leaf, from the portion or from the end from where you have plucked the leaf. And that exudation which is visible at that place is the cell sap which is coming out. Similarly, this liquid which is over here is the cell sap, and it is taking place only because of the root pressure. Continuous pull of the leaves or other portions of the plant always experiences a upward pull, and that because of that upward pull of water also moves upward, and that is the reason why water is moving up. Now there is mercury attached, which is black colored over here, and you can see that this entire one tube is there, and along with it a scale is attached. Now think that at first, initially, when we put the stump along with the rubber tube, the exuded liquid is almost this much. suppose we consider that I have we start the reading at this place, so we will mark this place and write it as 1. And later on, say after an hour, when we get some change, the change is at this place, so the change we mark as 2. Now if we can find out the difference between 1 and 2, that is the amount of water or liquid exuded out, and there will be some increase in the liquid size as well. And this liquid size increase will be equivalent to the amount of expansion which occurs, or equivalent to the amount of water exudation or root pressure which leads towards movement of cell sap upwards is caused because of that. Now by this process, water is moving up. There is one more thing which is occurring during this process, and that is the movement of minerals also move by getting mixed up with the water molecules. And if we go into details about the structure of the root here, we see that there is presence of Casparian strip. Now Casparian strip is a very important structure present in the roots of the plant, and because of this portion there is proper filtration, you can say, taking place in the plants. Now let's see how does the absorption of water actually occurs, which we have just studied. First thing which occurs is the root hairs, they absorb water by the process of imbibition. See, it is the imbibition by which water is absorbed from the soil, and after that the water enters the root hair cells by the process of osmosis. And how is it exchanged, or what is the reason for the exchange? It is because of difference in water potential, and this difference in water potential is created because the cell sap has much higher amount of minerals as compared to the water which is outside the root hair cells, and that's why the water always moves from a region of purity towards the region of impurity, or much more impure water, so that it can equalize or it can balance the amount of water in both the areas. And that's why the movement is from the soil particles to the roots. This is the extended structure of the root hair cells. At first there is presence of this epidermis, and before that there will be presence of the root hair cells. So think that over here there is presence of the root hair cells. Through the root hair cells somehow water has moved, and since I have drawn the root hair cells also blue, so everywhere where you can see blue color, it is water is moving through that area. Okay, so at first we will think about apoplastic movement. What exactly is apoplastic movement? During the apoplastic movement, water moves only through the blue regions. So I will just take the ink. This is the movement which is apoplastic movement. It is through the dead cells area of the plant. Okay, but here the water cannot move. This is a blockage. So remember, water has moved, but only till the endodermis, half of the endodermis water has moved through apoplastic movement. Similarly, in the case of symplastic movement, there is little difference. In case of symplastic movement, the water molecules, they will move from the corners. In spite of moving from the corners, they will prefer this plasmodesmata, which is the opening which is present in between two of the cells. So, from epidermis to cortex, when the water wants to move, it will move through this plasmodesmata. And again, here we cannot make the water molecules with some other color. Let's make the water molecules with dark blue color. So, this is a symplastic movement. Water is moving from here. It is passing through entire place, and then after it is reaching the endodermis. After endodermis, wherever there is presence of this Casparian strip, water molecules are not allowed to follow the cell wall pathway, or the apoplastic pathway is not allowed by the Casparian strip. Now there is series of reasons for that, because Casparian strip has completely different kind of structure, and the structure of Casparian strip doesn't allow the movement of water molecules by the apoplastic pathway. So for now just remember that it is not allowed. Now, as the water has stopped at this place where Casparian strip is present, now the water has to follow the normal symplastic movement. So water will diffuse and will pass through the cell membrane and will move through the plasmodesmata until and unless it reaches the next level where it is again exposed to the cell wall. So this area, all the water will follow the normal pathway, symplastic pathway, and after that again they will take their own pathway. Either they will go by the apoplastic pathway or they will follow again the symplastic pathway. Now which one is much more good for the plants? For the plants, both the pathways are equally important, because no matter what the role of water is, or how important the water is, or how fast it can flow by the apoplastic pathway, there will be presence of this Casparian strip blocking the path. So as soon as the Casparian strip blocks the path, again the water plant has to take the water through the normal symplastic pathway. Symplastic pathway is way too slow because the water molecules have to flow through the entire cell, and there may be hindrance in the form of colloids or different fat molecules or vacuoles. Different particles will be there inside the cell, and they will be causing hindrance for the flow of water when the water is moving through the cell. But when it is moving through the cell wall, the movement is very fast because there will be no hindrance. And since the tissue is dead, so there is no chance that it will be, the cell wall is dead. That's why there will be no chance that there will be any kind of hindrance for the movement or obstruction for the movement. That's why plants want both the pathways to be plants need both the pathways to be followed unless they reach the pericycle and the xylem. Now this entire arrangement is very important, you should learn it. It is epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, and xylem. Once it reaches xylem, then the upward movement is taking place very easily. Now the importance of Casparian strip. First of all, where is it present? It is present in between the endodermis. That is very important. Now in between the endodermis, what is the importance of this Casparian strip? Casparian strip in the endodermis is present in the endodermis of the cortex, are impregnated with the water repelling substance known as suberin. Now, this question has been asked several times, so you should learn suberin, spelling of suberin, and what is it made up of. It is made up of waxy covering, and this waxy coating is water repelling. It is hydrophobic. It does not allow the water to attach to it, and that's why the water has to move through it in order to, or it has to follow the symplastic pathway once it reaches the Casparian strip. Now, then after, water and ions travel through the cell walls and intracellular spaces in the apoplast. That is the movement. Apoplastic movement is taking place through the cell wall and the intracellular spaces, whereas the symplastic movement is taking place through the plasmodesmata. So this is important. Now if we think about only the apoplastic pathway, how is it taking place? Apoplastic pathway is non-protoplasmic components of the plant, including the movement is taking place to the non-protoplasmic component of the plant, that is the cell wall, as well as the intracellular spaces. What are intracellular spaces? If you see the structure, suppose these are few cells which I have tried to make. Intracellular spaces means these areas which are outside the two cells are known as intracellular spaces. Anyways, an apoplastic pathway, water is transported from the root hair to the xylem through the cell wall of intervening cells, and as soon as it reaches the Casparian strip in the endodermis, it follows the symplastic pathway. Although the movement is taking place to the cell walls, that's why the movement is very fast or it is very rapid, and symplastic route is utilized to deliver water and ions over the cortex region. So that's why it is very important. Now after that, if you see this pathway again, you can recapitulate how is the water moving. The red one is apoplastic pathway, intracellular spaces you can see through which it is moving, and finally once it reaches the endodermis, it has to flow through the Casparian strip and follow the symplastic pathway. What is symplastic pathway? Symplastic pathway refers to the continuous arrangement of protoplasts. So living material is there, arrangement of living material, and it is interconnected by the plasmodesmata. Plasmodesmata are the intercellular connections present between two cells, and they allow the movement of water in between the cytoplasm and vacuoles through the plasma membrane and also plasmodesmata and beyond the cortex of the plant cells. In this symplastic pathway, water moves from one cell to another cell by the process of osmosis, because movement is always from higher concentration to lower concentration of water. So, wherever there is more mixture of minerals, water will be moving towards that side.